Joyous Rising family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. This is Tuesday, July the 27th, 2022, and the time is 10 o'clock a.m. Good morning. I hope you all have had your morning coffee. So let's have a discussion about Zimbabwe today because we know that on, I think it was Monday, Zimbabwe finally released the gold coins that they promised to release in response to them moving away from the USD and also in response to number 46 putting sanctions on them. But we all knew this would happen. So I just wanted to ask you all a question that I think I already have an answer to, and that is, do you think the Black Panther movie was all about Zimbabwe? So if you're in the Intel community, you are probably very, very interested in Zimbabwe, as am I. So when the Black Panther movie came out, I want you to look back in the recesses of your mind and remember the deleted scene. At the end of the movie, they showed the scene that was allegedly deleted from the movie. And in the scene, Zimbabwe is talking about, or somebody, a representative of not Zimbabwe, but of Wakanda, is talking about using a precious metal or some type of very important metal to liberate the entire planet. And I think it was called vibranium. And some people say vibranium actually exists. I thought it was something that they made up for the movie. But they had talked about using vibranium to liberate or help the entire planet who was in desperate need of having some type of natural resource to help them economically and just to restore their hope and faith. Now, there was a European gentleman who maybe was served as the antagonist who said to the representative of Wakanda, are you serious? Your little bitty country plans to liberate humanity? You're going to use this fake vibranium that you all came up with, this natural resource to help humanity? How are you going to do that? And then he laughed it off. But the Wakandans were very, very serious in their resolve to help humanity. So when I looked at that, I said, that seems like foreknowledge. You know, if you're a writer like I am, or you study writing or literature, you know that they usually do foreshadowing and in their movies or in scripts to let you know what the plot is really about or to let you know what's about to happen in the movie. So I saw that as foreshadowing and foreknowledge about what was actually going to occur in our reality or in geopolitics or in the world. And so, what the premise is for many people who looked at that movie and examined it critically is that Zimbabwe, who was the underdog country, the country that people had given up on, the country that people had said, had such high inflation that their currency was worth nothing, Zimbabwe would actually be the country that will liberate humanity. And we saw the vibranium being, I don't know, kind of like a resemblance of what gold would be coming out of Zimbabwe, or maybe they would use the notes, their Zimbabwean bond, if you believe in it, to liberate humanity. I can't say if that's true or not, but I do know that at the top of the note, it says that I promise to pay the bearer on demand. Now, some people say, this is a worthless bond, it's a worthless note. I don't know, but let's get back to vibranium and what it represented from the Black Panther movie and what it represented for us today. Could it be the Zimbabwean bond that if you invested in it, you could get a return on your investment? Some people say you could. Some people say it's worthless. I have it as memorabilia, to explain to my grandchildren what happened in history. But others say that it's a promise to pay and you could receive a return on your investment. Now, we're not sure about that, but what we are sure about is that Zimbabwe is extremely wealthy. And we do know that on Monday, Zimbabwe released their gold coins into circulation. And Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, said that the gold coin, was to hedge against inflation, and the coin was also real gold that would restore the confidence of the people in gold or real money and restore their confidence in their own local national currency, as well as move them away from using the United States dollar as a reserve currency. Mnangagwa also said it would stop people from going to the black market and acquiring the United States dollar. So, as you can see, so many countries are vehemently moving away from the USD. And I talked about that in my last couple of videos. But let's get back to Zimbabwe the Great. Now, years ago, Zimbabwe had announced having allegiance or a partnership with China. And it was a massive partnership that China would help them to mine their gold. And this is important because Zimbabwe has a whole lot of resources, a whole lot of gold, which is probably why so many countries treated them so badly and put so many sanctions against them throughout the years and wouldn't trade with them because Zimbabwe really does have enough resources to liberate the planet. So they have the gold, they have silver, they have, you can look it up, massive amount of resources in this beautiful country that used to be called Zimbabwe the Great. And they were the richest nation, if not one of the richest nations, or if not the richest nation on the planet. But you can have all the resources in the world. However, if you don't have the tools to actually mine the resources, then it becomes a problem. Well, this article that came out, I will have to look it up for you because I have it somewhere stored in my files, said that they made this partnership with China, that China would help them to mine the gold. And when I saw that, in, I want to say maybe 2018, 2019, something like that, I knew that it was true that Zimbabwe would be the country, if not one of the most important or significant countries to help liberate humanity through the gold standard and maybe even through our investments in their country. So I think it's important to see or to note that Zimbabwe actually announced not only are we going to the gold standard, we have gone to the gold standard. We have actually minted our gold coins and we put them in circulation for the local population because in my assessment, Zimbabwe's announcement was actually a soft announcement that the entire world has returned to the gold standard. Now let's get back to the Black Panther movie. The Black Panther movie had so many jewels, so many themes running inside of it. So I want to encourage you to watch the movie again because I think it'll raise your vibrations when you're looking at all the things that have occurred and that are occurring in the geopolitical landscape. Now, the Black Panther movie's official trailer was released on July 23rd, 2022. And I think that's interesting that the official release date for the movie of the Black Panther was actually in July because a lot has happened in July in that country of Zimbabwe. So you have that release date on the 23rd. Then you have a couple days later, Zimbabwe announcing that they actually minted the gold coins and circulated them into their community or into their country. All this in July. And then in July, you also had them on July 25th to launch their first satellite. So I will look for that article for you. I think that's significant. And I'm wondering what is going on astrologically in the month of July here in 2022. So all my astrological people who study astrology and astronomy, can you let us know what's going on right now in the atmosphere and in the planets, among the planets during this time in July period and right now? So you had that happening. They launched their first satellite in July in Zimbabwe. And then this morning, they reported that their population has surged. They said their population has surged 16.2% from their 2012 statistics. So in 2012, they were at 13.1 million. Now they're well over 15, almost 16 million in terms of their population. So I'm not sure what the implications of all that is, but I'm telling you, it's something very significant. Now, also, as it relates to Zimbabwe, relates to the Black Panther movie. The Black Panther movie, although the official trailer was released a couple of days ago on July 23rd, 2022, the actual movie of Black Panther 2 will be released on November the 11th, 2022. Can you see all of those master numbers, 11 and 22? Somebody who studies numerology, please let me know in the comments section what the implications are of those numbers and what it means. Everybody, let me know your thoughts. So we all know that 11, you have two 11s. November is the 11th month, the 11th date, two 11s. 11 serves as a portal, right? It's you have two ones or two pillars. It serves as a portal, which is very important because it's what it is a doorway. A doorway of it's like you walking out. But so what's going out? The old ways, the old path, the United States dollar, relying on old paradigms. You're going out one way, but the pathway is also a doorway coming in. So all the old things are passed away, and behold, all things have become new. So you're walking into the newness of light or of life through this doorway. So that doorway, 1111, November 11, 2022, again, is the official release date of the Black Panther 2 movie. And 2 is also two ones, which is also a portal. And it comes on the heels of, or 3 days after, November the 8th. And November the 8th is, very important day, is when we vote, right? So we shall see what will happen in November. I'm hoping that 45 has come, to the forefront by then. I don't think we'll need to do anything to determine who's going to be another president because it was already given to him. He already won. We know that. But just look at all these things as it relates to Zimbabwe, the Black Panther movie, Wakanda, how there was a relationship between Zimbabwe and America, even in the movie Black Panther. Remember who was going to be king? Who was going to be the new leader? Was it going to be the Zimbabwean, or I'm sorry, not Zimbabwean, but was it going to be the person in Wakanda, as my memory serves me correctly, or was it going to be the relative in America? And I think that there was some type of codes in terms of the American or the indigenous American, the alleged black man or so-called black man who's an indigenous person. There was some type of relationship between him and Zimbabwe, and I don't know what the coded message is in that, but you all please let me know what your thoughts are about the movie, the Black Panther movie, how it relates to America, how it relates to liberating the planet, how it relates to being Wakanda. So that's just my thought process for this morning. I wanted to bring that to your attention as I prepare for my day and look forward to more breaking news to bring to you. And I'm expecting that we will soon hear that all the things about which we've been reporting over the last 4 or 5 years will come to light. My loves, I love you. I adore you. Stay encouraged. Keep your vibrations high. And hey, let's look forward to gold being the standard. But remember, silver linings are great too. If you're interested and buying precious metals, then look up Miles Franklin at milesfranklin.com, or you can email the CEO, Andy Scheckman. And yes, I had the pleasure of talking to Andy Scheckman and now working with him. So Andy Scheckman is the CEO of Miles Franklin, and he has been the one to keep us updated on what's going on in the news as it relates to the gold, not necessarily the gold standard, but as it relates to the world moving towards gold. And as you recall from my previous video, he let us know that a billionaire contacted him and ordered $50 million worth of precious metals, both silver and gold. So he's been the busiest he's been in ever in his 30 years of business. He is a dealer, a precious metals dealer. He's been in business for 30 plus years. He has an A plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and not had one complaint. Not what? I think that's amazing. And he also is licensed in the state of Minnesota. So he has a special license that enables him to do business or to um, to actually circulate or resell the United States Mint's products. And there are only a few dealers that in all the world who has that reputation or who has that special license. So that's why I decided to roll with Andy Scheckman. So contact him at andy@milesfranklin.com, and I'll leave you his phone number in the comment section. And right now, you will see the inventory on the website, milesfranklin.com. But it's important to call him right now or email him because he can give you the updated list on the inventory and order from him. Let him know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. I'd really appreciate it. You'll get the best deals in the market. Also, if you're interested in rolling over your 401k or your 403b or your retirement savings into precious metals, talk to Andy about how you can do that, if it's possible, how it's possible, and what that looks like. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm bringing this up because I've been studying geopolitics. I've been studying economics for a long time. And it just looks like, family, we have returned to the gold standard. Again, as you all know, the BRICS nations have already dropped the United States dollar. And as Andy Scheckman let us know, what made the United States the reserve currency all over the world was that we had agreed to protect Saudi Arabia in return for their oil. And then we made an agreement that what will happen if we're protecting you, every country has to use the United States dollar to trade. So now Saudi Arabia has made this big announcement that they're joining the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And they said it would be called SAL-BRICS. But right after that, you had other nations said, nope, we're applying to the BRICS nations too. You had Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and there will be other countries that probably have already applied, but other countries will join the BRICS nation and move away from the United States dollar as the reserve currency. So what does that mean? That means that we've already heard Russia and China make an announcement that they're creating their own reserve currency or a basket of currencies that will be backed by gold. So I don't know if you can see this, but all these countries are moving from the United States dollar and going to the gold standard. So if the United States dollar is losing value, what happens to your retirement saving and other savings that are stored up in the USD? I can't tell you what's going to happen. You know, maybe more than I do because you're studying it, because it is your retirement account. But I would hate to see our retirement lose value. So this is why I'm saying consider rolling over some of it into precious metals, or if you are, contact Andy Scheckman and ask him, should you, what does that look like, and how to do that. Additionally, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, according to Proverbs 13:22. So be wise and leave an inheritance for your posterity. Leave your inheritance in precious metals, which is real money and God's money. Be that wise person that's storing up wealth for your family and your future generations. That scripture goes on to say, and the wealth of the wicked is reserved for the righteous. So your birth certificate bond that was trading on the New York Stock Exchange and accruing all this wealth, your social security number under which people were trading has made so much money. That money is supposed to come back to you, whether it be through the National Economic Security Reformation Act, NASARA, or the Global Economic Security Reformation Act, which is the global version of that, just SARA, or whether it be just you accruing gold. Right now, it's going to happen. The wealth is returning to us. Now, you all know that Executive Order 138/18 froze the assets of those people who were participating in crimes against humanity, and that money will be laid up and reserved for us, the righteous. You also remember that the scripture says the meek shall inherit the earth. Who did they consider the meek? Us, we the people, the lowly ones, the ones who weren't considered elite. So take it upon yourselves, family, to do what you can to restore wealth or even to preserve your wealth. So when you roll over your savings into precious metals, you are preserving your wealth because precious metals maintain their value and precious metals will increase in value. Now, as the United States dollar or fiat currencies decrease in value, gold and silver increases in value. And we know that from a historical uh, state or from a historical place. When you study history, you know that past proves future. So my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I am so excited to bring news to you today and to, encourage you to use some critical thinking and to examine whether or not Zimbabwe is a significant country that will help to liberate humanity. Perhaps their gold, perhaps their bond, perhaps their resources is going to be some of the assets that will be used to liberate humanity, just as vibranium was used in the movie Black Panther. So let's go back and look at the Black Panther movie and stay tuned for what's going to happen as we lead up to the great portal, November 11th, 2022. Have a wonderful day. Make it a great day. Wakanda forever. I love you. Mwah.